Hey, my name is Jesus Monserrat, and I was born in 1995, so I decided to talk about the PlayStation for my oral presentation. First off, in this oral presentation, I'm going to talk to you about who created it, and why he decided to create the PlayStation system, and of course the evolution of the PlayStation systems throughout our generation. And the last topic, I'll talk about the advantages and disadvantages of the PlayStation system in the world today. So first off, Ken Kuchiagi was the inventor of the PlayStation right here. And according to the article, The Sony PlayStation, an entrepreneurship story by Anis Betta, she states that Ken Kuchiagi was working in the sound lab at the Sony Corporation, and he finally bought his daughter the Nintendo system that was popular at that time, and he saw that the sound wasn't as good of a quality, so he thought of a sound chip to put in this game system, but he actually decided to make a whole new game system that would be better for people to use with better quality, and everything would be better. And that's when the PlayStation 1 came out right here. It came out in 1995. It blew the Nintendo out the water. It was a CD-ROM system, so you had to play with a disc. The controllers were a lot better. Everything was better about the PlayStation, and everybody in the world wanted one. And it opened the world in the game system, and people were amazed by Ken Kuchiaga's PlayStation system. After the PlayStation 1 was created, the PlayStation 2 came out. The PlayStation 2 came out in 2000. Most people say the PlayStation 2 was the best PlayStation created because the PlayStation 2 blew the PlayStation 1 out the water. The graphics were very improved. You could also watch movies on the PlayStation 2, which you couldn't on the PlayStation 1. But the best thing about the PlayStation 2 was when you bought the PlayStation 2, you didn't lose any of your PlayStation 1 games because you were able to play all your PlayStation 1 games on the PlayStation 2. So that was one of the big reasons the PlayStation 2 was it skyrocketed through the world, and everybody loved it. After the PlayStation 2, of course, the PlayStation 3 came out in 2006. People did not like the PlayStation 3 as much because it wasn't really much of an upgrade from the PlayStation 2. But if you actually think about the qualities of the PlayStation 3, there are a lot of qualities. The controllers were wireless. From the PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2, you had a cord to connect, but the PlayStation 3 controllers were wireless. You also had a Blu-ray disc, Blu-ray in the PlayStation 3 system, so you could watch Blu-ray movies in this one, which you couldn't in PlayStation 2. And of course, you could also, it was kind of like a computer. You can get on Google, Facebook, whatever you want to do, search on Google and anything on the PlayStation 3. So those were the cool upgrades, but I mean, it didn't sell as much as the other two game systems. And finally, the PlayStation 4 came out in 2013, and this is probably the best PlayStation out of the bunch in graphics and memory and quality, and that's mostly because of technology has grown so much in our years, and the PlayStation, it also has the internet and faster connection and everything. But the interesting part of the PlayStation 3 is that when you stick the disc in the PlayStation 4, you can actually download the game into your game system. So in case you lose your disc or your disc breaks, you have that game in your system and you don't need your disc anymore. Well, now that I talked about the evolutions of the PlayStation, now I want to talk to you about the advantages and disadvantages. One of the big advantages of the PlayStations are that I'm a first experience in this. A lot of people don't have cable or DirecTV. They just buy Netflix on their account, and you can watch Netflix. It's installed in the PlayStation 4, and that's how people watch TV nowadays. I know I do, so it saves you a lot of money. The technology in the PlayStation 4, like I said, the internet, you can actually have webcams on your PlayStation 4, so a lot of stuff saves you a lot of money. Of course, you don't have to buy a DVD player as well, because the PlayStation 4 is a great DVD player as well, and that is a great option to have instead of buying a DVD player. The disadvantages of the PlayStation is people are so addicted to games nowadays in this generation. When I was a kid, I always played outside, and kids nowadays are always addicted to just staying inside and kind of being unhealthy. And according to Does My Child Have a Video Game Addiction? How to Set Limits Around Video Games, used by Sarah Bean, she says that in 2010 she found children screen time total an average of 7 hours and 38 minutes per day. And if you calculate that, it's 53 hours a week. And that is pretty much more than a full-time job. So I feel like that's the disadvantages today. And going back to King Kujaga's, he also opened doors for a lot of game systems like the Xbox and the Wii. So thanks to him, that's how the game system is today. And thank you very much for listening.